Welcome to another episode of The Fold. My name is Teresa, and I'm going to be your host today. We are talking to a loyal Good Shepherd supporter and active nonprofit board member, Nick D'Amico. Welcome to The Fold.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Good to be here.
So you've been involved with Good Shepherd for a while.
Yes.
But I understand you also have a business in the community.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about your background. Who are you in the Hamilton community?
Sure. So family business.
Cool.
It's third generation family business. We've been doing it now in Hamilton for about, I'd say 20 years. We actually originally started in the Niagara region.
Okay.
And then
Right next door.
Yeah. And then my father, born and raised in Welland, my father got his first contract here in Hamilton, flatbed contract, steel hauling, typical DeFasco,
Makes sense.
right?
Yeah.
Stelco stuff. And that's what's brought us here. So we've been in Hamilton since then.
Mm-hmm.
And we've moved to a few different business units that we have throughout here. One of them is warehousing. One of them is long haul trucking.
Mm-hmm.
And where I am is Thomas Solutions. And what we do at Thomas Solutions, it's a bit of a conglomerate of a bunch of little services.
Okay.
So repairs and maintenance, truck rentals.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's looking to rent some trucks for projects, stuff like that. But more towards the industrial setting, not
Right.
really, the Hamilton Bay Street type of people. It's work trucks.
Yeah.
So we do that. Vac trucks, industrial services. We do some agricultural farming as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Manpower services, so for staffing, and local trucking and cartage. So again,
Ah.
a little bit of a conglomerate of all these little integrated services. So
Yeah, and also really
very
integrated, very unique and integrated into like the Hamilton community in that Hamilton is such an important industrial area. You mentioned farming. It sounds like there's a lot of different industries and sectors that you guys are connected to and involved in supporting.
yeah, absolutely. And we employ, a couple hundred people here just alone in Hamilton, never mind like the long haul and the cross-border folks as well too. So definitely get to see a lot of people. Our office is in North Hamilton off at Gage Street. So we're very familiar with the north end of Hamilton. I lived in Stony Creek, went to Cardinal Newman High School. So I know Hamilton, Stony Creek pretty well.
Oh, very good. Very
Yeah.
good. So you mentioned the North End. That makes sense. There's lots of like port stuff there. There's lots of warehouses there. That's where all our
Exactly.
steel companies are.
Exactly.
Right? Does the work that you folks do inspire you in any way or connect to the work that you are doing in the social service sector?
Yeah, I would say so. So my father originally kind of said, go try Good Shepherd for a year because he was a big avid supporter. So it's because of him that I got involved.
Okay.
And I think just recently, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I got my 10-year pin. He's like, try
Whoa.
it, right? Try it for a year. And
Try it.
yeah, and here I am, probably almost 15 years later.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what the impact is being in the North End and being in Hamilton, you see the needs everywhere, right?
You do.
And then you think, okay, what's going on and how do you help? So
Mhm.
that's originally how the journey did start, was going through it that way. And through our services and through the people. And, people that work for us have problems at home too.
Yes.
Right, as well.
Yes.
So
it happens to anybody and everybody that
Exactly.
they find themselves in a different place that they imagined,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you've seen how workers and other people you're connected with might find themselves falling through cracks and needing some support.
Yeah, and you see it on the streets too. I think that's where kind of Good Shepherd opened my eyes. I think if I look at perspective from 10, 15 years ago to now, I used to think, okay, there's a real problem. And I used to be very biased to everybody's very one way of what the issues are, or
Sure.
drugs or something.
Sure.
But now fast forward to where I am now, it's such a mix of things, right? There's
Mm.
people that don't want to be on the street, that don't know how to get out of the street or how to get help. And that's what I really liked about Good Shepherd, is they're trying to really make that transformation. They're really trying to get people off the street
Mhm.
and give them the facility to get them out, as opposed to just, here's a handout. There's people that want to get out that don't know how.
Yeah.
Then of course there's people who are, on a different path that might be longer term for them, and the mental issues and all these other components. I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
So that's what Good Shepherd many years ago showed me, all those different levels.
How did you first get involved? 10 years ago, what were you doing?
So that's where I first got involved, was the golf tournament. Was the Good Shepherd golf
Okay.
tournament. That's what kind of got my foot in the door from there. And I was just an avid golfer, not a good golfer. I have a really bad, left slice. I still got a bad left slice. If you need that, just call me. I can do that for you
We won't hold
anytime.
it against you. Okay.
But that's how I got started.
Yeah.
And from there, I just kept expanding through the services. I moved up to the board, onto that committee.
Mhm.
And we had a really amazing year, I think maybe now 4 or 5 years ago, when we were raised a couple $100,000 to contribute back net proceeds, which was
Wow.
a really big deal as
That's
well.
enormous. Yeah.
And what was really good too, Kathy Wellwood brought in people that actually came up and had the courage to speak about their story and their journey. So we're out there, having a good time, having fun golfing, you're giving back to the community, but you're also trying to be impressionable, right? And really try to build long-term people, repeat people to continue to give. So when they see the story of these people who have gone through the transformation, who have gotten the help from Good Shepherd, who've graduated from high school, who have done that and they're grateful, you see that. And that's what's really the secret sauce. That's the great stuff about Good Shepherd, is when the people come forward and say they couldn't have done it or changed their lives or done that transformation.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's an important thing about a fundraiser, right? You want people to go, you want people to have fun, you want people to want to return.
Yeah.
But if they feel like they're doing something important and they understand the impact of their donation and time,
Yeah.
they're more likely to come back, right?
Absolutely. And people, even the feeling that they get from it, it's kind of, for some people that aren't around, it's awkward to them because they're so removed from it, right? And then they actually see these people that are going through these changes and transformation. It's very impactful. It was very good that, Kathy did that.
And to see a human being, right? Rather than just a story.
Right.
Because sometimes we're inundated with stories of what people think homelessness is,
Right.
or the reasons that a person believes you could end up homeless.
Absolutely.
Right? To hear a person's story and see a human being in front of you being vulnerable,
Yes.
working hard.
Exactly. And that's where you get some of that impact. And I think now what's happened is because we're getting a lot of repeat people, they already understand the story
Great.
of what Good Shepherd is. And they're just like, okay, let's keep it going, right? So, and I think that's what was really important for me at the beginning, was to help try to spread that message. And I kind of have my little group of people that keep coming back and keep contributing. And I'm just trying to get them to do more.
Can you enlighten us? Did the golf tournament already exist more than 10 years ago? Is this a long-standing tradition?
For
or fairly
sure. Yeah, definitely. It was longstanding. We were just like a bronze or a silver sponsorship package.
Okay.
And then in time, there was a committee at that time at one of the houses. And what happened after time is the committee started to go through that change. What happens, right? So a bunch of people moved or shifted or went into different roles. And then pretty much there was only 2 or 3 people left standing. And then I talked with Kathy. I think Bethany was there as well too, and said, okay, we'll take the lead on this. And then let's say, for simple math, 7, 8 years ago, we took the lead. We became the #1 sponsor. And then we just kept doing it since then.
Yeah, and trying to rebuild and grow again.
Yeah, and then rebuild and grow. We've got a bunch of momentum behind it.
Nice.
And not being a salesman, but it sells out quick every year.
Yeah, good.
Very quickly every year. It does well. I'm sure it can always do better, but
Yeah.
it does well.
Yeah,
For sure.
nice.
Yeah.
So at some point from there, you decided to go a little bit further to get out of just the fundraising side and into more the active partnership of being like sitting on a board.
Yes.
What inspired you to do that? How did that even happen?
That was all Kathy Wellwood's
Really?
idea. Yeah, it was 100%. She said, go try it out. So I can't speak too much to it because I'm still pretty fresh. It's
Sure.
been about a year
Yeah.
on the board, but it's a bunch of people that have common goals and they all want to do the good things, right? And they all want to give back. They all want to participate in the community, right? So you have people that are giving money. You have people that are getting involved with their time. Then you have like people like yourself spreading the word, doing that part, right? The influencing part, which is really great too. So you're putting all that together and, you get a really good result.
Wonderful. Have you ever sat on a board before? Is this a brand new experience for you in life?
No, I've sit on the Ontario Trucking Association
Okay.
board. I've sat on a few boards before that I'm currently in, stuff with the kids' school, not on a board level, but definitely involved in that volunteering aspect as well. So not new.
How does this differ from maybe more of like a business sector board, like you mentioned being on like a trucking board?
Sure, yeah. Dollars and cents, right? So of course there's the aspect of dollars and cents, but really it's about the impact, right? And that's where you talk about the impact it has. So normally when you're looking at a regular board, you're talking about, okay, what's your net dollars? What impact did we have? Where are we investing? Where are we going? What do we see coming down, the horizon? And here it's really about how many people are you changing, those kind of things, right? So
Right.
it's deeper than just dollars and cents. And that's why I like the Good Shepherd, because it helps tie me back into those values, which I feel is important, for myself.
So it sounds like a shift from the impacts being looked at in terms of profits and dollars and how many clients did we serve,
Right.
like from like a business perspective, to how many people did we support? How many people did we help?
Right.
How many lives did we change?
Right. Which is it's a whole different level, right? Which is
Yeah.
great.
How has that changed you?
It's definitely changed my perspective on how I see things. As a Christian too, we should be giving back, right? And we should be doing these things and serving our community. So Good Shepherd helps hold me accountable to those values. It's always been in the back of my head. Okay, I want to do something. I want to help.
Right.
Okay, so now what are you going to do?
Right.
And I still feel like I'm very busy, home life, wife, kids,
course.
school, a lot. And I still feel like I could do more and I want to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And Good Shepherd just helps me stay aligned to those values. So they take that part of it. So like before, right? You had the impact side of it, like what we're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the financial side of it as well too. So it's just being able to be aligned with that inner value. When you're doing business, sitting in boardrooms all day, like what we talked about before, you can't really necessarily, get to that next level of impact that Good Shepherd can do for people. And like all the volunteers, right? So the volunteers need some money. They need to get people to contribute. You need to have people out there doing, spreading the word. So everybody does their part. And I'm happy to do my part, which is on the one side, but I'm sure as I evolve through Good Shepherd, I want to do more.
Yeah, I love what you said about living your values. I think that's sometimes a really challenging thing for people to do, to identify what your values are, and then to find ways to incorporate them into your life. And it makes sense that working with an existing organization has this accountability piece of like, I know what my values are and I'm able to be here and I know that I'm reflecting my values when I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What values do you feel like are really important to you that get to shine when you're here?
Really giving back and taking care of each other, that sense of community. There's a great sense of community. There's a ton of volunteers. There's a ton of people that want to do the right things and help. And, you hear their actual challenges because as you know, it's not easy, right? You're dealing with all different types of people from all different situations. So, and that's part of the task, right? Is how do you able to service all these different types of challenges?
What was one perspective on like homelessness or addiction or mental health that you held before that you were surprised to find like an opposite answer to and an opposite perspective to?
Yeah, that came to me pretty early on. And I think that's why I think it helps. So what really helped me, I can't remember the name of the house, but it was so long ago. They took me through some of the houses with the women in youth shelters. And what was shocking to me was just that there's these women that were totally pushed out on the street, or they have children and their families just totally turn their back on them, right? Even if they have, or they come from an already broken family. And from, we talked about being Italian and family values and stuff. It'd take a lot for anybody in our family to ever turn your back that hard, right?
Yeah.
And to really be alone. So now you have these women that are young, that are going through this, that maybe haven't even finished high school, or trying to get a job, have a child, and they want to get off the street. I was unaware of how many people actually want to make a change. I just always assumed that, the drugs, and they chose it.
They chose it. Yes, this is a big myth for sure, right?
Absolutely. So that was really eye-opening to me. And that's where I saw the value of Good Shepherd is. And you see it. You see people graduating, right? They have their annual ceremonies. You see what they're doing to help people. And that's great.
It sounds like maybe you had gone to Regina's place, which is,
I think it was. I just can't recall at the moment. I think it was Regina's house.
Yeah, it's where they're helping folks who are under a certain age who have children.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's hard to imagine like having a young person in your life who say under the age of 23, who also has a child and they're out on the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And even just basic stuff like getting them IDs and getting like winter jackets and getting so they can go forward, right? It's hard to do that alone. Very hard.
Yeah. And they do amazing work there too in supporting like literacy skills.
Yes.
Right? Making sure that these young parents have like a plan ahead of them, making sure that these young children know what they need, making sure there's a connect in case the young parents didn't get what they needed. Now they're growing the skills to give to this young child.
Yeah. And that's breaking the cycle, right?
Yes.
Which is great. They're hopefully getting on that other path and it's not just repeating. So I saw that and that was very impactful.
It brings me back to something you said earlier, which kind of sounded like we didn't say it this way, but it sounded like you were saying that sometimes it feels like people just want to put Band-Aids on.
Yes.
And you see where Good Shepherd is saying like, we need to do more. We need to go further.
Absolutely. And even you look now, like there's a long list. Like if you called and said, I need a place, tonight, it's not more than likely probably going to happen because there's such a high demand for what the need is. So they need more, right? And they need more to keep helping these people. So yeah, just that Band-Aid solution versus, really trying to get engaged in helping people.
Why do you think the Band-Aid approach is something that ends up happening so much?
It's a good question. I think it's just because it's an easy solution.
Yeah.
It's just a quick fix, easy solution, right? When it's not the long-term answer.
No, the long-term answer is hard work.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And it requires resources,
It does.
right?
Resources, people, the volunteers, the funding, private businesses getting involved too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the golf tournament?
Sure.
Like when it's happening, how people can find it and get involved?
Yeah, so it's happening in September and it's at Herring Point. So wonderful, amazing golf course. People can get involved either by sponsoring themselves if they just want to do a whole sponsorship and show support that way. You can
Mhm.
do a foursome, individuals. Then you can move up to the different packages that are available depending on how many people you want to have or how big you want to contribute. It's one of those events which is really cool. It's a leave your wallet at home event, which is a really good sell if you're a business guy and you're bringing a couple of customers or a couple of clients. So
Mm.
all the food's included, all the drinks are included.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's lots of prizes. We do a hole-in-one prize. There's this really great guy that's from Toronto who does cigar rolling as well too. There's like nachos. There's ice cream. There's everything, right? And a bunch of little putting prizes. So
Sounds
a
like a fun time.
it's a fun time and it's a great way to give back and do good all in the same day.
Yeah.
It's such an easy sell.
Do you find that people use it as an opportunity to bring business clients?
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell me what people get out of this event more than just feeling like they gave back.
Yeah, I think what they're getting from it is they're understanding that, their vendor or their customer is involved in their community and people want to be
Mm.
involved with people that are involved in their community. And then especially if you're doing more Hamilton, vendors and customers, if you're able to do that, you bring them into that fold, it helps a lot. Even I've gotten a few people from Toronto that have come in and, Good Shepherd does stuff in Toronto as well too.
Mhm.
So they get the exposure to it as well. So they really see when they're with you that sense of community. And a lot of people want to be a part of a company that has a sense of community, not just some huge conglomerate multinational corporation. So it really does. That's why I think it sells out so fast every year.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a rare opportunity to be able to show people like more about your values as a company or as a business person,
Absolutely.
beyond just like, some quotes on a website or a
Exactly.
snapshot on your Instagram, right?
Exactly. So that's why it sets our corporate values as well too as my personal values. It's so great.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yes, going to the website. I said
okay.
that, right? You can go to the website to donate. You can get a hold of us online at any single time and just fill out the paperwork online. It's super simple to get involved.
Love
And I
that.
would go quickly before it sells out because it definitely sells out quick.
September's a nice time too.
It is.
Usually through the heat.
Yeah, it's not normally too bad. It's cool afternoons. It's great.
Great
great
time for
day.
golfing. Great
It is.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In your involvement with Good Shepherd, what do you think is exciting about the future of Good Shepherd here?
Well, that's the one thing about being on the board. You get to see their projects and what their
Yeah.
investments that they're looking at, which is really nice. So they're looking at making more homes, getting more properties, building more,
Mhm.
which is great. So you see the demand is there, but they can't supply it. So they're working on creating the additional supply that's available for the people that need it. So
Mhm.
that's great and being a part of that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for telling us all about that. Thank you for sharing your story and for all of your continued leadership in the community
Thanks for having me.
here with Good Shepherd. It's been a delight to hear.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
Thanks for everything you guys do. And thanks for spreading the word. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you so much, Nick.
Thanks for having me.